Right, for today we are going to be practicing 4 different types of watercolor techniques mainly used for backgrounds. You're going to need some paper. If you're trying this for the first time, don't worry about getting good quality paper, just get paper. You're going to need some watercolor paint, a paintbrush, water, masking tape, a plastic sleeve or any kind of plastic. Right, let's go. Right, so the first thing that you want to remember when you're busy creating a background is that most of your colors are going to end up bleeding into each other. I know it sounds stiff, but they're going to bleed into each other, and so you want to choose colors that when they mix in with each other, they go together well. And the way you do that is that you choose colors that are close to each other on the color wheel. We call it related colors or analogous colors. And those colors, when they're mixed together, they actually end up forming really beautiful new colors, and so it's not a problem. So whenever you're choosing your colors, make sure that they're close to each other on the color wheel. The first technique that I'm using here is a wet on wet. So the way that you do that is you first of all dip your paintbrush in water, just water, and you paint a section of your paper with just the water. Then you take the colors that you've chosen and you paint over the water with that. You can see that when I did the purple and there I'm doing that like light pinky purpley color, then it spreads to where the water is. And that's how it works. You can even tap it a little bit. If it's not moving enough, then try using a little bit more water. Depending on the quality of your paper, you need to be a little bit careful. With watercolor paper, this was done on watercolor paper, you can go a bit wild with the water. If you're using a thinner type of paper, you need to be a bit more careful with it, as it can actually break the paper when you put too much water on it. So you've just got to play around with that, and you'll figure it out as you're going. So that's the wet on wet technique. This one I did a very blobby, colors are just mixing with each other way. The next one that I'm going to do, I wanted to do a gradient. So I wanted it to gradually flow into each other. So the way that you do that is, again, wet on wet. Wet creates beautiful soft colors. Over here I tried one color and then I was like, I do not like it. New plan. And I quickly changed it, and that's fine. The way that you get the watercolor paint to move down with this technique is that you hold the paper at a bit of an angle, and then you can add water. As you can see at where my brush is, the water is running down because I'm holding the paper up at a little bit of an angle. You can also put it on a book or something that'll keep it like that if you need to, and then you tap until it forms that line at the bottom. You see all the water and all the colors flowing down towards that bottom line, and then you just flow that line gradually down to the bottom of your paper to create that beautiful even effect. If you want to create clean lines around your painting, so if you want a border around your painting, then what you can use is masking tape that you put down around the area that you want protected, and you paint over the area that you want to have color. You can go a little bit over the masking tape. Don't go too crazy with the water, otherwise it might seep through anyway. And when it is dry, keyword dry, then you can remove the tape and it'll have a beautiful crisp line. Right, so for our final technique, we are going to be doing what I call the organic plastic blob. So what you're going to need is a piece of plastic that you can load up with a bit of water from your brush, and then you're going to put quite a lot of color on it. Again, remembering to use those related colors, those colors that are close to each other on the color wheel, and blobbing it around with concentrated parts in certain areas, and not putting too many colors all over the place. So choose 2-3 colors for max, not more than that. Then once it's loaded up, you're going to press your paper on top of it and then flip it over, and then you can spread those colors around with your plastic so that they go wherever you want them to go. If you haven't quite got enough color where you want it, you can always do sort of like a printing thing where you take whatever paint is left and you can just spread that around again using that magic wonderful plastic to create the effects that you would like. This technique is a little bit of a wild card because sometimes it does what you want and sometimes it doesn't, but it's a lot of fun. Right, so those are our 4 techniques. Give it a try, practice new things, and have lots of fun. Bye!